I have been asked so many times about the weekend retreat that my husband and I do every year, the family planning that we do. And I love to share the information. I love to share the work that we do. I'm such a big believer in what it can do to help families, to help individuals and lovers to build their relationships. And so we thought, hey, why don't we just put together the actual workbook and put together a little video that will walk you through step by step what some of the questions are that we ask of ourselves, what we actually do, how we share the information, and some of the exercises that we go through every year when we're just checking in with life and how life is going. And what better time to do that than during New Year's, when we're about to flip over the calendar to say, okay, new year, how did last year go? What do we want to happen this year? What do we want for 2017? So whether you're just watching this at the beginning of 2017 or it's out in the internet and you're watching it years later, whether it's March or February or October, doesn't matter. You can flip over a new year metaphorically anytime you want. You don't need it to be January 1st. We have done our planning retreats in April, in October. This year we did do it in December, but it doesn't matter what day it is. So strap in because we're going to walk through what we do when we're doing our planning retreats. And if you don't have time right now, that's okay. You're going to need about an hour, maybe 1 to 3 hours. And we really, really recommend that you find a quiet place, that you won't have distractions. It's awesome if you have a cup of tea or a glass of red wine and you just have the space to let ideas flow through you. So find some quiet space. Make sure you've got the time to do it. If you don't, bookmark this video and book the time in. So whether it's tomorrow night or tomorrow morning or this coming up weekend, make sure you put it in your calendars and tell somebody that can help hold you accountable, because this work is so valuable. The first year that I did it, I was like, what? We're going to spend this time thinking about our feelings and talking about how we're doing and what we want. It seemed a little bit over the top. But when you think about it, companies do this, right? Why wouldn't you do this for yourself and for your family? Like the basis of society, the thing that it's what we're about, right? So I highly recommend taking the time. The video itself is going to be around 20 minutes, but you're going to need about an hour or more, depending how much you write. And it's just step by step. So you ready to get started? Here we go. All right. So first things first, a year in review. And this is such a fun exercise. It's so fun to look back over the year and to think about what has happened in the previous 12 months, whether that's the entire last calendar year or just the previous 12 months. You can't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been, right? So take some time. In the past year, some of my finest memories are, so write down what comes to mind quick and easy. Just jot it all down on your piece of paper in front of you. And if you need, find your phone and go through the photos that are on your phone. That can give you a really good idea of like, oh yeah, I forgot that we went there, and just quickly go through. Don't get distracted. So we're going to take a few minutes and we're going to think about what in the past year, what are some of your finest memories? What are some of the, and not just the big ones, not just like the major trips or major memories, but what are some like really memorable moments that mattered? So it might just be movie night or cuddling or reading a story or hanging out with your nephews or building a snow fort. Could be anything. It doesn't have to be major. So what are some of your finest memories? So you're going to pause the video now and jot these down and take about 10 minutes to 40 minutes really diving deep into the past 12 months. What are some really cool things, meaningful things that happened in the past 12 months? All right, so now that you've got that, we're gonna look at the other side of the coin. Your past it's, we all are human and we all make mistakes, and guaranteed there's some things last year, that some moments when maybe you were at your worst. Maybe it was just really stressful and you brought the stress home and into the house, and you wish that you had done differently. So by reflecting on those moments, you can start to recognize that, hey, that's actually not the way that I want to act or behave or the things that I want to do. And you can start to decide if you're going to take actions to change things in the upcoming year. So take some time to think about some of the moments where you're at your worst, but do this with love. Recognize that you're a beautiful person and you are worthy of love and being loved. And the fact that you made some mistakes last year doesn't make that any different. It's okay. It's part of the human condition that we make mistakes. So just look at those moments where you were at your worst as reflective moments of a person past, not the person that you necessarily are today. And look at them with love. So we're going to pause, and you're going to take some time to think about moments where you were at your worst. All right, ready for the next one? All right, thinking about, the things that happened over the past 12 months and what you liked and what you didn't like, what are some experiences that you want more of in your life? So think about things that you want. Maybe it's more time with family or more travel or more time reading books by the fire. What are some experiences that you want more of in your life? And we're just going to pause the video while you take some time, take 10 minutes or so, to list out a bunch of experiences that you would like more of. All right, and for this next one, this is a really important question to be asking. We all want more time, right? We seem to run out of time. And when you really think about how you spend your time, there's always things that you could weed out, things that you could trim off of your regular routines. So take some time to think about it. What are some things that you need to do less of or to stop doing altogether? What are some things that are just not contributing to happiness and fulfillment in your life, that if you got rid of them, you would have room for other things that might bring more happiness or fulfillment to you? So take some time to think about this, and we're going to pause the video and take 5 to 10 minutes and really think about what you could take out of your schedule, out of your daily routines, or minimize that would make your life even better. Who we spend our time with has a great impact on our level of fulfillment and happiness. And in some cases, it's harder to choose who we spend our time with, but in others, we can make those choices. So think about it consciously. What people do you want to spend more time with? What people lift you up and make you feel happy and hopeful and you laugh and have fun with, or whatever things are important to you? Or maybe they give you good ideas or teach you things. Who are the people that you want to spend more time with? So we're going to pause the video and take some time to think about that. Ha! And you knew this one was coming. On the other side of that, what people do you need to spend less time with? Those people in your life, we all have them. Some people who just bring you down, or bring negative energy to the space, whether they're always complaining or they're just never happy or they just are draining. So we all have those people. Let's take some time to consciously write down those people. What people do you need to spend less time with or to stop seeing altogether? Sometimes these are hard choices, whether they're enablers or they just have bad habits that you want to break, and being away from them would make the difference. So take some time to think about what you want in the next year and what people you should be spending less time with or stop seeing altogether. And we're going to pause the video while you take about 10 minutes to really think about this question. It can be a tricky one, so don't rush. All right, so think about the stuff that's going on in the upcoming year. What are your fears, your worries, or your concerns over the next 12 months? What are you worried about? Whether it's your relationship because you haven't been giving enough attention to your love relationship, or your kids are going through a new phase and you're not sure how to handle it, or finances are a worry. Whatever those concerns are, let's write them down. Let's put them down on paper so that they're not looping in your head and causing anxiety. The first thing is to identify them. So go ahead and write those things down. And we're going to pause the video while you take about 10 to 15 minutes to think about, what are you worried about? What keeps you up at night? All right, so here's the part of our weekend where we've done our individual work, my partner and I. If you're doing this with a partner, this is when you would sit down together and share. So you would share where you were at your best and where you were at your worst. You'd go through some of those highlights and take a walk down memory lane together. It just feels amazing. And you would share some of the things you want to do more of and the things you want to do less of. And you would share what you're worried about. By sharing those topics with each other, you're going to create a stronger connection, and we'll eventually get to the questions of, how can I help you? How can you support me? What can I do? And to start to bring your two insights, your two reflections together so that you can build a plan together moving forward. So this is when you're going to pause the video and sit down together and share those ideas that you've come up with so far. All right. So this is an interesting exercise. It's called a life inventory, and you can download the workbook from igniteretreats.com. It's free. Just head over to igniteretreats.com, download it, or we've got everything right here in front of you. You'll just have to write it down on your page in front of you. So your life inventory. The key to living on purpose, that's what we're talking about, is to know what's important to you and to consciously choose to do more of the things that contribute to your happiness and less of the things that don't, right? It's so simple, but we get caught in autopilot and we just go, go, go. And maybe we've got our kids in so many activities that it's draining us and making us miserable. Or we're working long, long hours and we don't love our job. And we're on salary and we don't make any extra money for those long hours. So let's talk about what's important to you with your life inventory. All right, so what you're looking at here is the grid that you'll find in the workbook if you downloaded it from the Ignite Retreats website. If not, on the next page you'll see all 13 categories. This is just a summary of a few to give you an example. So in the left-hand column, we've got a list of your needs. There's 13 of them. Money, financial, career, professional are listed on this page. Then there's a brief description of that need. Then we have 3 columns. We have the priority, the fulfillment level, and then the time. And what you're going to do is to go through and first, for all 13 categories, you're going to go through and rate how important it is to you. So from 0 to 5, 0 being not important at all and 5 being extremely important, go ahead and rate them. How important is money to you? How important is career to you? And all of the topics are here. So you've got money, finance, career and profession, friends and social group. So go ahead and using this slide, I'm going to leave it up here. You're going to go through and rate the priority level, 0 to 5. So you might want to just pause the video on this screen while you go through this exercise and take some time. This should probably take you about 20 minutes or so to really think about what those topics mean to you and how important they are. All right, so after you're done that, now we're going to do the same thing, but rating the fulfillment level for each category. So from 0 to 5, 0 being not fulfilled at all, and 5 being very full. That you're very full in that area of your life. So you're going to go through and for each category, rate your fulfillment level. So again, I'm going to put the 13 categories back up on the screen, and you're going to go through them taking 20 minutes or so to really think about each category and how fulfilled are you. All right, you know what's going to happen next. So this one is time. This is interesting. So now we're going to think through how much time do you spend devoted to each category. So 0 being no time at all and 5 being the majority of your time. How much time do you spend either thinking or doing activities related to this category? So we're going to go through all those again. I'm going to bring them up on the screen. Pause the screen, and you're going to go through all 13 categories and rank the amount of time that you're spending on each of those categories. All right, so now that you've done that, here's where it gets even more fun. So if you're not having fun already, and maybe it's just me because I totally nerd out on this stuff, but so now that you've got your priorities and you can see right in front of you what your top 5 priority categories are and how fulfilled you are and how much time you're spending, go ahead and transfer those top 5 priority categories over and transfer the fulfillment score and the amount of time over, and take a look for any gaps that you might find. So a gap would be it's your priority, but you're really not fulfilled and you're not spending any time on it. Or maybe you're not fulfilled, but you're spending a whole bunch of time on it, indicating maybe you're doing the wrong things. So start to look at what are your top 5 priority categories and what are the areas that you could start to devote some attention to that's going to make a big difference in your life and your level of satisfaction. This is super enlightening. And if you're doing this with a partner, this is an amazing thing to share with each other because your categories are not likely the same and your fulfillment is not likely the same. And yet you can do things to help support the other person to raise that fulfillment level, or to recognize how you can support them by helping them have more time for that area. It is a really powerful exercise to think through what areas would ripple out to make you feel happier and more fulfilled, that you would have more to give to the family and your relationships. So take some time to transfer that. Make some notes around it about what are those categories and what's the time that you're spending there. All right, now we're coming to the end of the exercises. We've got you the short version just so we don't lose you yet. So this is the end of the exercises. Now you've got all your categories. You've gone through them, you've thought about last year, you've thought about what you want to do more of, what you want to do less of, and now you've got your each category and the level of fulfillment. You can start with the top 5 priority categories, but do them all. Go through all of those 13 categories and think about what do you want for that area of your life? What do you want it to be? So under health and fitness, maybe it's that you can run and play ball with your kids, or that you feel sexy again. Whatever that vision is, that what do you want for that area of your life? Write it down. And then write down a few things that you can do to start moving towards that vision. Right? This is not something you're going to change tomorrow. We don't think in times of just tomorrow, but it's like starting on a path, right? So there's the vision and you're going to start to move towards it. What are some simple steps you can get started with in the short term? And start to think through, okay, well, I want to decrease my debt and have some financial freedom. Well, I should probably book a meeting with a consultant because I have no idea how to get started. So I'm going to book a meeting in January. And by going through this process, you start to peg out what your year is going to look like and what some of the things you want to do. And so you can imagine what happens when you come back to this next year and you see that you've pegged, not all of them, maybe you're not going to necessarily make them all. Maybe you will, that's awesome. But you can look back and be like, man, I'm pegging forward pretty awesome. And that level of fulfillment is likely pegging with you. So take some time, this one about 20, 30 minutes, maybe more, to go through each category and to write down, what do you want for that category? What do you want for that area of your life? And then what are some commitments, some simple steps that you can get doing? And when will you start doing those things? So those are the exercises that we go through, or the individual ones that we do anyway. We also go through a process of sharing and asking questions like, how can I support you in this? And what does this mean to you? And how do you see me playing a role in this? Where do I fit? And I'm worried that, or I'm afraid, I feel. So we have conversations like that so that we're both on the same page and we're moving towards where we want to be together. I hope this helped. I hope that it gave you what you needed to have an amazing year. I'm really excited to check in a year from now to see how you've pegged forward. If you have any questions at all, we're super passionate about this stuff and the process of living on purpose. We've been doing it for over 11 years, and it has contributed to some incredible things in our lives. And we have seen it help so many of our clients and so many of the folks around us. So if you have any questions, let us know. If you're looking for a coach because you need somebody to hold you accountable to go through this process, give us a shout. We can help you with that too. So this is how you live on purpose. If you're looking for more information, you can find it at www.igniteretreats.com. We've got more information, or if you need a coach to just walk you through this because you're never going to book the time, you can reach out to us there too. This is our passion. So hope this helped you. Have an amazing year.